Good morning, 9 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. News from the Iranian conflict this morning that Iran's Minister of Intelligence, Ismail Khatib, has been killed in targeted airstrikes. Now, he's the man responsible for overseeing Iran's global terror apparatus, including sleeper cells around the world. He's also responsible for threatening President Trump. Also this morning, an Iranian missile has struck a military base housing U.S., British, and Australian troops in the United Arab Emirates. It doesn't appear that there are any injuries, only minor damage to a building. President Trump will travel to Memphis next week to highlight the success of his crime crackdown program.
The White House confirmed the visit will focus on what it says are the achievements of the Memphis Safe Task Force. That group includes federal and state officials working in tandem to address crime in Memphis.
Channel 4's Marius Payton. In fact, since the task force's arrival in Memphis, there have been 7,240 arrests and 1,188 firearms seized. A hearing held yesterday in federal court in Nashville over whether ICE agents acted lawfully when they detained a Spanish-language TV reporter. Stephanie Rodriguez was taken into custody March 4th. She is in the U.S. from Colombia on a tourist visa from 2021. She overstayed that visa and is now in custody. A judge granted her a $10,000 bond, but the government appealed that decision. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management. Online at beaconcm.com. An inflation reading showed producer prices higher last month, sending stocks lower. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrials are down 177. The NASDAQ falling 50. S&P 500 index is minus 17 points. That is the latest news. Stick around for your traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Elon Musk's privately funded tunnel from downtown BNA.
The most cutting-edge transit systems in the world.
They call it the Music City Loop. We call it the BNA hole.
We've submitted a list of questions, and so we're looking forward to the opportunity to get answers.
Questions like, how does a tunnel work? Or how can I be the biggest a-hole in the room without even trying? Because clearly, the fiscally responsible thing to do is to keep traffic backed up until every driver becomes an a-hole. The BNA hole. Zero cost to the taxpayers, and that's the real problem for the left.
I kind of think that's on brand.
Not enough opportunity to play tax collector a-hole. The BNA hole, where progress goes to upset liberals.
We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen to that show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show, Super Talk TV, up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, free to do, and it helps us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be diving into the SAVE Act. We'll also talk about the Iran conflict, and we'll talk a little bit about Joe Kent, which is probably where we're going to start. We're also open to anything you guys want to talk about. 615-737-9986. Phone lines are open for you. Text line is open as well. Same exact number, 615-737-9986. We got Mason Fleming producing. We got Joan Jones in the newsroom. But the show is yours, so you are welcome to join and discuss anything that we are talking about. We encourage it, actually. Disagreements, go to the front of the line. We're not afraid of conversation here. In fact, we enjoy it. As long as you're not just being ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous. We have some of those too, which, to be fair, to be perfectly honest, we also enjoy. I don't know why. It's like, are we gluttons for punishment, or is it just like, it's just fun? I think it's just fun. When you get somebody irrational yelling about things, it's fun.
It's fun to do a little bit of trolling.
We call it a little bit of trolling.
A little bit of trolling.
We're here for it. Let's start with Joe Kent. This broke yesterday while I was on the air. And I didn't get a lot of time to discuss it, and I didn't have a lot of time to really digest the information. I didn't even have an opportunity while we were on the air to really read his resignation letter. But my first instinct was, if you're that upset, why would you take yourself out of the situation instead of being a voice of reason inside the room when it comes to the conflict with Iran? Why would you take your ball and go home? I mean, that was my initial reaction, I felt the same way a couple different times. There was a Democrat senator in Michigan, state senator or state representative, I can't recall which, but she left the Democrat Party because it doesn't line up with her faith. And my reaction to that was the exact same thing. Like, well, okay, well, why didn't you stay and fight? You're in a reasonably safe seat in the city of Detroit, and your people know you, they like you, you might win re-election. Why wouldn't you just become an independent and put your faith first and fight with those values? And my reaction with Joe Kent is the exact same thing. If you truly believe what you're saying, why wouldn't you stay and fight? I just don't understand the logic. Joe Kent, yesterday on X, said, after much reflection, I am resigning from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center, effective today. I cannot, in good conscience, continue supporting the ongoing. I cannot, in good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. It has been an honor serving under POTUS and DNI Gabbard and leading the professionals at NCTC. May God bless America. And he's out, just like that. One post on X, and he quits. Now, there's a lot of talk behind the scenes that maybe he was about to be fired anyway. In fact, there were recommendations that he would be fired. So maybe this is a, you can't fire me, I quit. I heard Dan say that earlier, and I thought that was pretty apropos. But what we're seeing is Joe Kent, allegedly, this is according to some within the administration telling Fox News, he was a known leaker. He was cut out of the intelligence briefings with POTUS months ago. The White House told Gabbard he should be fired for suspected leaks, and he was not part of any Iran planning discussions or briefings at all. Again, this is what we're hearing. This is from the administration. So all of the anti-Israel conservatives are going to take that with a grain of salt. And then us on the, I'm not even like overly pro-Israel or overly anti-Israel. I think that they're just another ally, and we have to look at every situation uniquely. There are some that just think Israel runs all of our foreign policy. I don't necessarily believe that, especially with Trump at the helm. But you're welcome to disagree, and I'm here for that. But when he just takes his ball and goes home, and people celebrate this from the anti-Israel crowd, I'm like, why would you guys even celebrate that? He literally could have stayed in the room and fought if you think that that's the real reason he quit. So why not stay and fight? I don't understand that. I don't understand it at all. Tulsi Gabbard spoke out after Joe Kent decided to take his ball and go home and quit. Posting on X, Donald Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the American people to be our president and commander-in-chief. As our commander-in-chief, he is responsible for determining what is and is not an imminent threat and whether or not to take action he deems necessary to protect the safety and security of our troops, the American people, and our country. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence is responsible for helping coordinate and integrate all intelligence to provide the president and commander-in-chief with the best information available to him to inform him his decisions. After carefully reviewing all of the information before him, President Trump concluded that the terrorist Islamist regime in Iran posed an imminent threat, and he took action based on that conclusion. Okay, so Gabbard's like, no, there was a threat. We've heard a lot of people say that there were threats. Donald Trump was asked about this yesterday while he was doing the Irish jig in the Oval Office. And Trump, on the fly, responded to Joe Kent quitting because of Israel's influence. And he said, I don't know, I don't really even know the guy.
Mr. President, your Director of National Counterterrorism, Joe Kent, he just resigned today. He said he can't support your conflict with Iran. What's your reaction to that? And did you?
Well, I read his statement. I always thought he was a nice guy, but I always thought he was weak on security, very weak on security. I didn't know him well, but I thought he seemed like a pretty nice guy. But when I read his statement, I realized that it's a good thing that he's out, because he said that Iran was not a threat. Iran was a threat. Every country realized what a threat Iran was. The question is whether or not they wanted to do something about it. And many people, many of the greatest military scholars are saying for years that president should have taken out Iran because they wanted a nuclear weapon. They were, if we didn't do the attack, or if I'll go a step further, if I didn't terminate the Iran nuclear deal given to us, one of the worst deals ever made by Barack Hussein Obama. Remember?
So his comments on Joe Kent, I didn't really know him. He was very weak on security, but he left because he doesn't support the war. You know who did support the war? Fun fact, Joe Kent. This was a tweet that Donald Trump posted from back in 2020, where Joe Kent on his personal account said, "At real Donald Trump, we should not sit and wait for the next attack. Wipe Iran's ballistic capability and get our troops out of Iraq. They are only targets now. No U.S. WIA, KIA is a tribute to the professionalism of our military and intel professionals, not Iranian restraint." So he used to be for this, but now he's not. Joe Kent is a notorious flip-flopper. Like, just I don't know how much background you have on Joe Kent, but he was affiliated with the Libertarian Party 2012 to 2019. Then he switched to the Democrat Party in 2019. He remained a Democrat through 2020. He voted Bernie Sanders in the Democrat primary that year. He then switched to the Republican Party in 2021. That's when he began running for Congress in Washington's 3rd District as a Republican, starting around the exact same time. I don't know how you look at Joe Kent as anything other than an opportunist. And even in this latest act, I see him as quitting and taking his ball and going home, probably because he was about to be fired for leaking information. Once again, being a natural opportunist. At least that's what it looks like from the outside looking in. I'm open to new information, changing my mind. Joe in Nashville is waiting on the line. What's up, Joe? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Good, man. What are you thinking?
Well, something just hit me because you said it. You talked about a tweet that Joe Kent made where he was for the war. But, you know, when we bring up all of Donald Trump's tweets where he was against it, you know, we brush that off. You know, Joe Kent is an 11-time. He did 11 tours of duty in the military.
I thank him for his service. I didn't besmirch his military service, did I?
I understand. I'm trying to let the audience know his character. You know what he's done for us, and you're saying fight back. You know who's fought back? Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know who's fought back? Tucker Carlson.
Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene also took her ball and went home.
Yeah, right. You cannot disagree. You're not allowed to disagree with Trump.
Why on earth? How much more good if you're a pro Joe Kent guy, right? And you think, but no, because we've talked a bunch of times, and like I'm not afraid of your opinion at all. Like I think that you hold an opinion that a lot of people hold. But if you think that Israel is controlling foreign policy, how much can you affect it? How much can you affect it from outside the administration?
Listen, I watched a video last night of Netanyahu over the past 10 years. This is a decade. And every time he spoke of Iran's nuclear capabilities, they're always, for the past decade, man, they've been a week away from a nuke. Now, just think. They're bombing everybody they can right now. Guess who's not getting bombed? Us. We're not getting bombed. Okay?
Well, I mean, our soldiers are.
Our soldiers are because we're putting them there.
Okay.
Our soldiers are because they're on the bases that in the Middle East that are bombing.
I mean, but if you want to talk about old statements, it was 2015 before he was even president, where Trump said the line in the sand is a nuclear weapon.
Everyone trying to pretend that this is even necessary. This whole entire concept of war with Iran is not even necessary. We're doing it for Israel. The same reason they get free health care.
Okay, but listen.
Are you a Zionist?
No, I'm not. But listen, if you truly believe that we're doing this for Israel, then how can you say that Joe Kent made the right decision leaving the conversation altogether?
Because anyone associated with that corrupt regime of the Trump regime is going to be their time.
So you're so upset. You're so upset about Israel. I mean, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, man. You don't have to yell over me. If you're so upset with Israel, though,
I'm passionate.
Yeah, and I can hear it. That's why we always take your call. But if you're so upset with Israel, why wouldn't you stay in there and have that argument with the president? Why wouldn't you try and affect change from the inside? Instead of
Mark Levin's and Ben Shapiro's huddled around.
If you think Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro have more influence than somebody working inside the administration, I think that's false.
Oh, man.
Wow, and if you think that's true, though, you just lost a powerful voice, according to you, inside the administration.
There is no voice in the administration if you don't agree with the voice of Donald Trump. That's what I'm saying. It ain't about automatically, if you disagree, you're not a Republican, you're not a MAD. They will come at you. They will try to take you out. I've seen it, but I don't see why people aren't seeing it. They want to arrest Tucker Carlson, man. He's the most innocent Christian dude. He really,
I mean,
people are
but Tucker,
me and yous of the world.
Tucker made a claim that they want to arrest him. We haven't seen any other evidence besides Tucker's claim.
When we haven't seen any other evidence that Joe Kent is a information leaker besides your claim, and Mark Levin started that little rumor. It's like
no, I mean it was an administration. Listen, it was an administration official that said it to Fox News. I literally, when I relayed that fact, I said take it with a grain of salt because it's an administration official. But if you want to talk about Joe Kent, let's talk about the opportunist that was a libertarian before he was a Democrat, before he was a Republican. Let's talk about how Joe Kent. Joe Kent in 2020 is tweeting at the president saying you need to take out Iran.
Okay, things change. What was President?
Okay, but you can say things change, and then you'll be like, for 10 years, Netanyahu was saying Iran was weeks away from a nuclear weapon. Okay, did things change? Things can't change there.
Nope.
Okay.
They never changed. How come we ain't been hit? Not one territory of us, like the United States over here, is in any danger.
Okay.
Any.
I never made the claim that we were in danger in the continental United States.
He stood up for what he believed in. He stood up.
No,
he left.
I think
now he's a bad guy. Y'all are making him a bad guy. He's an information leaker.
If he was truly standing up for what he believed in, he would have stayed in the administration and fought.
Yeah.
What it looks like to me is a guy that was leaking information.
He would have been talked about every day.
Yep, because it's not.
Thomas Massey is fighting, and look what the hell they're doing to him. He's in there fighting. Now that's a fighter, bro. And look what they're doing. Trump is doing everything he can to end Thomas Massey's livelihood because Thomas is staying in there and fighting. Maybe Joe Kent said, man, I can't afford that. I can't go through that. I've been through enough. I've been to war 11 times.
Some principled guy you got there on your side then. He's so principled. He's so stand up that he can't make any sacrifices. He's going to do is he's going to quit before he gets fired. He's going to juice the algorithm. He's going to juice the algorithm. Yeah, you too. He's going to juice the algorithm with his anti-Israel stuff. He's going to become a social media influencer, and then for a few weeks, people will care about what Joe Kent has to say. That's my thought on Joe Kent. Let's go to Brian on the road. What's up, Brian? How are you?
Hey, brother, this is your resident Rhodes Scholar. After that dude called me that yesterday.
Yes. What do you got?
I'd like to share some thoughts on that last guy. I heard him start ranting, and I thought, man, he gets passionate about it. I'm so anti-Trump. He really does have the derangement syndrome problem. But people say that you're a Trumper 100% and don't care anything, and that's not true. If they listen to you long enough, they'll hear you go against some of the things that people have done, which is the fair thing to do. This Kent dude, everybody wants to jump on the gravy train now that he served 11 tours, and he also lost his wife over there or something.
Yeah, in Syria, I believe. Which, I mean, dude, it's heartbreaking, and I'm not besmirching his military service at all.
No,
I just think this looks like an opportunist who was going to be fired, so he decided to jump on the algorithm juicing train, and he's probably going to write a new book, and he's gonna sell a bunch of copies, and the black-pilled conservatives out there will eat it up.
Okay, well, I've got a brother-in-law who just passed away in December. He was a hero. It was a Vietnam War, which was a wasted piece of crap war. We all know that. Lost 58,000 of our people for nothing. And he was a hero. You know what he used to say, Chris? He was a ranger. He was alert. He was a badass. And you know what he used to tell me all the time? He came around my life when I was 6 years old. He used to say, just because they got a uniform on, Brian, don't mean they're ever seen a firefight or fought for our country. And that's what we tend to do nowadays. We put everybody on a pedestal that has a uniform on. And I assure you, that's not the case. You need to get to know people one-on-one before you pass judgment, either way, good or bad. And I don't take it that you're besmirching anybody. It's like they said about Trump going to Normandy and saying that about those guys. That stuff's made up. People do that just to pick, even though they have no facts to back it up. This Kent dude needed to go and move on, and I trust Trump. I'm a MAGA guy, but I do try to judge the things that they do in his administration with a fairness, a just and fair way of looking at it. And if he messes up, I'll be glad to say I don't like him. But right now, he's the best we've had since I've been alive. I'm 65. So whatever, Rhodes Scholar or whatever that dude thinks I am yesterday, I'm not. I'm just an American citizen that believes in fairness and right. And also, our preacher, if you've heard him recently, Alan Jackson said on a recent sermon, he said there's only two people, Gentiles and Jews. And I don't agree with that. I think there are Christians and non-Christians. That's what I think. And I think this is going to come down to it. Islam is a bad religion or whatever they call ideology, and we got to fight that. I don't care if they're going to. You can't take somebody out before they do something sometimes. But sometimes you have to, and that's what we're doing. And I agree 100%.
Hey,
Thank you for taking my call.
Appreciate the call, Brian. Thanks so much, man. Calling anytime. Let's go to Glenn in Franklin, who is a veteran. What's up, Glenn? Thanks for your service.
Oh, man, I'm heated under the collar after that other idiot. The way he was talking, whatever, that's the reason I had to call you. I called y'all yesterday. He told you I was leaving Franklin, going down to Alabama, down to Smith Lake. So I will keep in contact. But this guy is an idiot, a nut. He doesn't understand what American values are, what vets do, what American service is. And I take your hat off to every one of my brothers out there. You be safe. I pray for you, and God bless you. But, yeah, the reason why I was there is for that same reason that's going on right now. We're on the front lines, and people don't understand that we veterans, the American backbone that protects this country, our values, the Constitution, and the people of this nation, the citizens, they don't get it. They really don't get it. And I tell you what, every person here that right now, because we're in war, and they don't understand how close we came to being annihilated. So I'll tell you what, I am happy they're there. I'm happy that they're defending, those type of idiots out there like Iran that want to create nothing but havoc, destroy every person that doesn't believe like they do, and will either kill us, bomb us, or nuke us. So I am grateful that they are there to help and protect us. So, and every person that doesn't agree with that, every person that goes against the United States and has these banners and goes out there and says death to America, whether they're a U.S. citizen or not, we're in time of war. And I do remember what the Constitution kind of says, and the military justice has on that. That's treason. And there's two things you do with treason. If you're not in war, you're in prison. If you are in war and you're helping the enemy, you're killed. So
yeah, Glenn, I hear you, man, and I hear your passion, and I appreciate the call. Listen, I think there's a lot of room for debate on the conflict in Iran, and I think that whether or not we got into it was the time for the debate. Now that we're here, we need to get through it as quickly as humanly possible, and I'm going to continue supporting the president and supporting the troops on this mission. I think that's the only right thing to do. But to act like first that we were here in the continental United States and we're being threatened, we weren't, but our troops certainly were. I don't necessarily have the information that Donald Trump has when it came to the decision-making to launch this incursion. But he had some information, and he acted on it. Since then, we've seen the Navy completely obliterated, the Air Force completely obliterated. We have control over their skies. The media is framing this as some sort of stalemate. I don't see it at all that way, but we'll talk about it more, and we got a lot of people wanting to jump into the conversation. We'll take more of your phone calls next. It's 9:27. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The fight to fund DHS continues this morning with the Trump administration agreeing now to expand the use of body cameras for ICE agents to limit immigration enforcement in sensitive locations like schools and hospitals and to require agents not undercover to identify themselves. Yet Democrats say that's not enough and they won't fund the Department of Homeland Security.
The partial government shutdown could soon force some small airports to close because of staffing shortages. More TSA officers being forced to work without pay are now calling out sick, including more than 30% in New Orleans, Atlanta, Houston, and New York. Some airports have been forced to close security checkpoints.
ABC's Lionel Moise there. Meantime, hearings underway now for a new Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne Mullen's opening statement.
And so I will work hard each day. I'll work hard to make the 280,000 employees at DHS with the 22 agencies that's underneath me proud. I'll show them somebody that no one will outwork. I'll work beside them every single day to not just secure a homeland, to bring peace of mind.
Could be a tough yes, though, from Rand Paul of Kentucky, who remarked that Mullen has anger issues. The two have a long-running feud. Locally, Metro Nashville police arresting 2 men for a carjacking and shooting on Dickerson Pike a week ago. News 2's Peyton Kennedy says the 22-year-old victim had just gotten into his Jaguar SUV when 2 men wearing ski masks pulled him out of the car and started shooting at him.
They say the suspects took the man's jewelry from his neck and then drove off in his Jaguar. The victim's mother says a round hit their home and debris from that hit her arm, injuring her. The suspects are now identified as 20-year-old Amadeus Wardlow and 19-year-old Kevin Thompson.
By the way, the victim and his mother are both expected to be okay. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Exclusively at Walmart and StreetDoc.com.
9:32 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Moments away, we got fresh comments from Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's press secretary, on the resignation of Joe Kent. We'll bring those to you in mere moments. But first, I got to tell you about my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. When something goes wrong in your home, you want a team that's going to show up, that's going to fix it fast, fix it right, and treat you like family. This is Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling every single call they're on. And if you need to replace your HVAC system as we're getting closer to summer, maybe it went out at the end of last summer, you've been kicking the can down the road because the heat still worked. Now is the perfect time. When you get yourself a 16-SEER high-efficiency HVAC system, you're going to land some amazing TVA rebates to save some money, and Busy Bee is going to fill out all the rebates for you. You don't have to do a darn thing except save some money. They're also going to throw in a brand new Yeti Tundra 45 cooler for free when you replace that HVAC system, or if you get a whole home repipe, maybe your plumbing needs some work, Busy Bee can help you with that. And if you want to save even more money, join the Beehive Club membership and get your home running well all year round. You can get priority scheduling, discounted repairs, free annual HVAC and plumbing checks, plus extended warranties, and that peace of mind knowing that your equipment is always running at its best. It's the easiest way to save money, avoid breakdowns, and protect your home. Call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
WTN.
39 minutes past the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, Instagram, TikTok, occasionally Blue Sky, at Chris Hand on air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. We got a few people waiting on the line to weigh in on the conversation. We've been talking about Joe Kent. He stepped down yesterday. He can't in good conscience stay in the administration while the Iran conflict is going on. Will someone think of the peaceful IRGC, says Joe Kent. Or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. He said it was no imminent threat. Yet in 2020, he was on the internet practically begging President Trump to go and bomb Iran.
Please.
Please, sir. Bomb him. I just think he's an opportunist. I think he's a flip-flopper. I don't think this is a huge loss for the administration at all. And for all of the people who think our government is controlled by Israel, they're celebrating Joe Kent as like this based hero today. And I'm like, okay, if he is the based guy that you think for the anti-Israel crowd, wouldn't you rather have him in the room? I don't understand the logic. There are so many people that are spinning this guy as some principled hero from left-wing mainstream media to the anti-Israel conservatives. And I'm like, guys, wouldn't you want him in the room? Why wouldn't you want him in the room? He took his ball and he went home. I just think that's a loser move. No matter which angle you're looking at this from, I think you look at Joe Kent, and I don't know how you can't see a loser. Just me. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. James on the road. What's up, man? How are you? Thanks for holding.
First of all, yes, that Joe Kent, he's a spineless bum. But what I wanted to call in, I told you, your screener. I'm riding down the road, turn your radio on, and I heard that guy that had the IQ of chewed up bubble gum. And I've normally called in a couple of times, and I wonder, why do you even allow them people 5 minutes? Well, I want to tell you, I changed my mind. Allow him, his family, every friend he's got, his buddies, allow them to call in, because there are so many conservatives out there that are lazy, that they know Trump is doing right, but they have that attitude is, well, when they're ugly, we don't need to be ugly, or we don't need to talk that way. Well, those are the people that if Jesus Christ was alive today and went into the temple and saw those people in there casting lots and cleared house, they would have been the people that wanted to crucify him. You got to remember, hatred is a sin. Being mad is not. And there are so many out there that call in and talk that lard that dude did. Let them all call in, because we need that. We need that out there for the regular people that are spaced out, that doesn't try to get the truth, doesn't try to, and I call it spineless men. Because, my dad is gone, but my dad had a backbone. And my dad taught me and my brother that when you believe in something, you believe in it. Whether it's the Bible, whether it's politics, whether it's schooling, whether it's a relationship, whatever it is, you believe in it. You don't halfway believe in anything. And I tell you what, I believe 100% that guy needs an MRI because he is brain dead. Thank you for what you do.
Hey, I appreciate the call, James. Listen, I just like conversations, and if you disagree, I think that we have a better conversation. And I'm not going to say that the guy that called in was brain dead. I think he's just passionate about his opinions. And from my viewpoint, I think he's wrong, but I'm not going to name call or do anything like that. I'd rather have a conversation, because I think he's closer to our side than he is the left, and I think that we can talk some sense into him, hopefully. But Joe Kent, what do you have to say today? I mean, when is the book coming out? He just looks like an opportunist. He looks like he took an opportunity when he was about to be fired to just smash the Trump administration and break everything on his way out. I'm not impressed. And if you're an anti-Israel conservative, why wouldn't you want your guy to stay in there and fight? And again, Caroline Leavitt this morning announced that there are active investigations into leakers within the Trump administration. And a lot of individuals are pointing to Joe Kent and saying he was one of the leakers.
Director of National Intelligence will be testifying this morning. Does the president still have full confidence in her?
He does, yes, and we look forward to watching the director's hearings today. And I think that anyone who has been suspected of leaking or is proven to be a leaker will not be welcome in this administration. I know that for a fact because I've heard the president say it myself. There are investigations underway into leakers in this administration, and people will be held accountable for that.
So in about, a week or so, if a charge drops on Joe Kent for leaking, you'll have all of these same anti-Israel conservatives saying they're targeting him because he spoke out. But I'm here to tell you today, it looks like he quit and he took his ball and went home because he knew he was going to be fired for leaking. A source close to Fox News said that they told Tulsi Gabbard, you got to get rid of this guy. He's leaking. And now we're here. This is where we are today. Caroline Leavitt saying active investigations are ongoing with leakers. She also said that DNI Gabbard has the full confidence of the president, not at risk of being fired. That last clip was her on Fox News this morning. This is Caroline Leavitt outside the White House as she's taking questions from reporters. This one was on DNI Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard's job in jeopardy right now, given the Joe Kent stuff.
Not to my knowledge. I haven't heard the president say that, nor have I heard him say that. So obviously that's a question for him, but I haven't heard him to say that at all.
No, Tulsi Gabbard's job is not in jeopardy. She's doing a fine job. Joe Kent just decided to smash things on his way out. Listen, I don't know. And I'm getting information from you guys on the text line. People are saying, his first wife died overseas, but his current wife is an anti-Trumper and works for Max Blumenthal. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. But I'm seeing your messages on the text line. If you agree or disagree, 615-737-9986. Let's go to our friend Bobby in Nashville. What's up, Bob?
Hey, brother, you've been doing a fine job. But let me get to your last caller. No disrespect, but he was talking about if Jesus was alive today. Hey, brother, Jesus is alive. Let me get that out of the way. He always has been. But that caller, the fourth one back or whatever it was, I support him. I mean, he's a veteran, and I give him, kudos for fighting in the war and serving as a veteran and all that. But they found out about him. He must have been doing a little leaking. And for that caller, man, that dude right there, he just like you say, he's got his own opinion and everything, but I'll tell you what, he wants to act like he's supporting the other side and all this kind of stuff. But, hey, Chris, I don't know about you, but I'd rather be fighting the enemy over there on their side than I had be fighting them over here on this side.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think the time for debate on if we don't, or, if we should have or if we shouldn't have gone into Iran, I don't think that's the time for that is now. That was before the operation, and then we're going to have to do a post-operation recap on everything, and then we're really going to be able to decide how successful or unsuccessful it was. At this point, we need to support the president and the troops, and we need to get through it as quickly as humanly possible. I think the conversation today needs to be how quickly can we get out of there? I think that's a much more proper conversation than should we have gone in the first place. Maybe it's just me. Let's go to Carl in the borough, also a veteran. Thanks for your service, Carl. What do you got?
Well, I just enjoy this show, and I wasn't going to call, but I just want to say, did you know, if I'm not mistaken, Benedict Arnold was a veteran too.
Fair.
And, he's the one that wanted to try to break up the United States, had to flee off to Mexico. He stabbed George Washington in the back. But,
whoa, Carl, I can't have you disparaging veterans on the program. You need to thank You need to thank Mr. Arnold for his service. How dare you?
Well, you know what it is I want to say this. It's not, I know that sometimes a veteran has to talk, like running for an office, he's going to say he's in the service and what he did. But when I hear people that maybe don't understand veterans, usually guys, especially in war, battle, I was in the early boring Reagan years of 80 to 84, and so I didn't see actual combat, but we were prepared. But we don't normally talk about it unless you're with other guys. But, a lot of times things are fabricated. If you speak out, it may not be true, everything he says. And I don't know much about him, but then when I listened to you earlier, you said he was a Democrat, and then he was a Bernie Sanders. No, he was something. And
he was a libertarian up until 2019, and then 2019 to 2021, he was a registered Democrat before he switched to the Republicans. He voted for Bernie Sanders in the 2020 primary. I mean, he just seems like an opportunist.
Yeah, when you said that, I thought it took me years of thinking, and I don't know if he's thinking much. Maybe he's not a thinker, but anyone that supported Bernie Sanders, I've got to really question them. You know why? This is why I wanted. This is my main call for someone to support Bernie Sanders, knowing when he said the rich need to pay their fair share. If Bernie Sanders had come out and said he's got 3 houses, from what I understand, I'm Bernie Sanders and I'm going to give one of my houses away. Okay, he put his money where his mouth is, but the guy is what do you want to call him? He's a huckster. He lies. He doesn't like the American capitalism. Bernie Sanders is. So most people that are supporters of him are suspect. And if this guy is being fired because it's now with rumors, there's sometimes a lot of smoke. If he's been releasing stuff, and then you said he's married to an anti-Trump, anti-American wife or whatever.
Yep.
I don't need him. I don't want him in there. He's not. Donald Trump knows what he's doing. And, and it's sad that guy that called before the break, you know what? He likes to hear himself speak. He doesn't understand that I was 17 when the hostages took. And when I remember watching Ted Koppel, Nightline started back then, I was, first of all, angry and humiliated. And I kept thinking, when are we going to do something? And we had a very inept president, Jimmy Carter. And when those Marines crashed and died, and they were, I don't want to say they were dragging them. I can't quite remember. But this is what we've been waiting on. This Iran thing's been an imminent threat. When the Beirut embassy blew up in '83, and I had a friend that was over there who survived, and a Marine. And then when these people come along, and these are what you call either lunatics or they're just dumb.
Yep.
And that's why Donald Trump won. Because the dummies and the lunatics out there that voted for Kamala Harris, they don't appreciate this country. And I'm angry, but I'm okay. And things are going the way they're supposed to. And Iran is finally getting retribution, because you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword.
Yep, I'm with you, Carl, and I appreciate.
Hey, man, thank you very much.
Anytime, Carl, call into the show. We appreciate you. 615-737-9986. If you want to join the conversation, as always, disagreements, go to the front of the line. On the way, saw a wild video last night where the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad had to deal with a drone attack. I'm going to play that for you when we get back. It's one of those videos where you definitely want to see it on Super Talk TV because you want the visual. But if you can't get to a computer screen or pull up YouTube on your phone and smash the subscribe button, the sound of the defense system that they use to take out this drone, it'll translate across radio. Believe me. I'll bring that video to you next. It's 9:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. Real life in my house the past few days. We've had baseball dirt. We've had rain and dogs tracking in mud, a lot of dirt coming in through the front door. And at some point, my wife and I, we look at the carpets and we know we need backup. We're getting dangerously close to needing backup today. And when we get there, we're going to call Zero Res. And I like what they do. Their whole approach, no harsh chemicals, no soap residue left behind, just their special ZR water cleaning system. It actually gets the carpets insanely clean and helps them stay clean longer. Plus, you know, with the young kids in the house, I love the Maha approach. I love that they're cleaning your home without those harsh chemicals. And if you check out the reviews, it's obvious I'm not the only one that loves it. Thousands of families around Nashville are using them. The ratings are through the roof. And right now is the perfect time to do it. Spring is coming. Great way to get the house fresh again. Call Zero Res today, 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376. Ask them about their 2- and 3-room specials, and you can always book online, ZeroResNashville.com.
Good morning, 10 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We have problems this morning on 65 northbound side in Franklin. It's police activity off to the right shoulder at I-840. Then further up in Creve Hall on 65 northbound, you've got a crash this morning at Harding Place, and 3 lanes are blocked off by it, 3 left lanes. In the news, the U.S. is ordering all embassies and consular posts around the world to immediately evaluate their security operations. It comes after attacks in Iraq overnight.
In Iraq, militia loyal to Iran unleashed yet another attack on the U.S. embassy, the most serious since the war began. Flames could be seen inside the compound in Baghdad, a huge gun used to shoot drones out of the sky. And as the White House struggles to get Allied help to open the crucial Strait of Hormuz, U.S. aircraft dropped multiple 5,000-pound bunker busters along the coastline.
ABC's James Longman there. The NBC is reporting that 6 of the 7 projectiles lobbed at the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad were intercepted. No injuries and no serious damage. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Israel struck Iran's South Pars gas field. It is the largest such facility in the entire world. Israel is also taking credit for killing Ismail Khatib overnight. He served as Iran's intelligence minister. A woman's been charged with DUI after showing up drunk yesterday to pick up her kids at Andrew Jackson Elementary School. News 2's Peyton Kennedy.
Staff reported a vehicle in line was revving its engine but not moving. When officers responded, the driver was taken to the hospital due to the level of intoxication.
Police found empty vodka bottles in the back seat. A convicted felon and illegal immigrant from Peru has been taken into custody by ICE agents. They were tipped off that Luis Oliveira's daughter, she told school officials that he was released from prison early and she feared he would kill her mother. Oliveira was convicted in 2019 of attacking her mother, and he should have been in prison until 2031. It is not clear why he was released early. It's that time of year when flowers bloom and the grass turns green, and American productivity at the office slows down.
Resonating from office computers or earbuds paired to phones. Millions of fans will be watching college basketball at work. On the one hand,
sometimes this can be positive, giving them a little break to refresh a little bit.
But social psychologist Steve Carrao says managers can set guidelines.
And if things seem to be going on for too long, subtle cues like saying, well, I guess I need to get back to work.
One estimate puts the U.S. productivity loss to March Madness at $12 billion. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And that's the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Hope you're doing well. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can watch the show, Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Free to watch, free to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you doing so. I'm going to play a video here in a second. This is for the Iran poses no imminent threat crowd. There was a drone attack over a U.S. embassy in Baghdad yesterday. The video's absolutely insane. We're going to play it for you on the stream, and you'll hear it on your radio as well. The sound is wild, absolutely wild. But we've been talking about Joe Kent, who resigned yesterday. He said he just can't in good conscience continue serving this administration knowing that Iran posed no imminent threat. Now, this is after being cut out of the intelligence briefings weeks ago. He had no intimate knowledge of Operation Epic Fury. He was not involved in any of the intelligence sharing or any of the planning. Yet he talked a good game like he was, and he put out a big public statement. And I just see him as an opportunist, and a lot of people are going to champion this man, from the leftist media to some of the loudest anti-Israel voices in the conservative movement. And I'm not even against, I'll be honest with you, I'm not even personally against the anti-Israel voices. I just think it's a conversation that we should be having. And both sides shout each other down too much. I don't think that we should be giving any nation funding or aid while we're $38 trillion in debt, and that includes our greatest ally, Israel. I don't agree with it. I think that we need to worry about America first. That being said, Joe Kent saying that Iran posed no imminent threat, bro, you weren't even in the room. You weren't in the room. And as we're seeing today, the videos that go viral online, it's like, yeah, you know who is in an imminent threat right now? Our troops. And they have been because of Iran for years and years and years. Just yesterday, this video starts going viral. A drone intercepted near the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. This video is insane. You're going to see it on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. But you're going to hear the sound of the anti-drone capability. Listen to this and watch this. Dude, so badass. I mean, it looked like it was shooting laser beams. What you're hearing is a gun system called the CRAM, Counter Rocket Artillery and Mortar System. It's a land-based automated defense platform used by the U.S. military at fixed sites like embassies and bases. And that sound you're hearing is a Gatling gun. And that boom is the drone blowing up. I need one of those for the house. I do. Especially if Amazon starts delivering with drones.
Yeah, just mount it on top.
Just based. I want to know how loud that is in person. I mean, it sounds incredibly loud over the video, but in person, I bet you that's even louder.
It's so loud.
Deafening.
I've seen videos of them being shot from the person's perspective. Huge headsets on to mute as much of it, and I still feel like you can hear it at full volume.
Can you get Lenny McGill on from the Glock store? Let him know we need to get one of these bad boys in one of the Shoot 270 private shooting rooms to do some training.
Yeah, you and Dan doing that training, but with a Gatling gun.
Yeah, we should do it. Only at the Glock store. All right, wouldn't that be sick?
That would be huge. For the gun and for the Glock.
I want to do a simunition force-on-force training on how to take out drones over embassies.
How to take out Amazon packages that are running late.
Dude, that's sick.
That's dope.
That is badass. All right, so a lot of the leftist media is saying we're currently in a stalemate in Iran. It's a stalemate. I don't see it that way. I don't know how you could see it that way. We have total air superiority. We have naval superiority. We've killed, 3 levels of their leadership at this point? And then the guy that's in charge now is legless and gay and in a coma, allegedly. But people still say that we're in this stalemate right now. Britt Hume took on the talking point of we're in a stalemate. This was yesterday on Fox News. He flipped the narrative on its head in about a minute and a half.
Bit of the reaction. Here's a combination of some voices on that put together. Watch this.
It's becoming clear all the time, frankly, that the Trump administration was not prepared for this war to last.
Now, are we any closer to finding out what the plan is here?
Here we find ourselves again in a situation where we could actually win every single battle and still lose the war.
I mean, this is leftist media for you. Are we in a situation where we can win everything but lose? How are you in a situation where you win everything and you lose? Does that make any sense to anyone? Only on networks like MS Now do questions like that not go over like a fart in church. Can we keep winning but lose? How do we lose when we win so much? People are dying to know. Britt Hume on Fox News responds to these lunatics.
So this is also sort of classic, Britt. You could go back, I guess, to Vietnam and talk about how wars are covered and whether or not it's accurate or inaccurate in terms of the picture that people are getting across the country. What's your take?
Well, for a moment, Martha, let's turn the situation around and assume a situation in which the United States is under attack from a major enemy, and that enemy is ranging freely over our skies with no resistance, bombing at will, sending missiles at will, attacking our vessels, attacking our ballistic missile systems, attacking our aircraft at will. That they have wiped out, they've killed the president and wiped out his cabinet. And countless officials in the echelons below. And we have responded as the United States by shutting off a major waterway that we need for our economy. Yes, it harms other economies as well. Do you think anyone would be saying that this is, as Walter Russell Mead put it today, a stalemate?
No, absolutely not. Britt Hume, thank you, sir, for bringing some common sense into the conversation. If we got into a war with Iran and they took out Trump, Rubio, Vance, Tulsi, I mean, who else? Let's say they took out Susie Wiles. Let's say they take out everybody and all we got left is RFK. And at the exact same time, they're bombing all of our major cities. They're bombing our military infrastructure. They're taking out every boat we have. Would you go, guys, they're screwed. This is a stalemate. They can't beat us. No, I think the American public would be rightfully panicking. But that's not the situation. The situation is completely in reverse. It's flip-flopped, and the media is saying, is this a stalemate? I think this is a stalemate. I think so. A lot of people reacting to the text line, on the text line about that Gatling gun. 4360 said you got to check out the A10 Warthog. That thing is sick. Somebody else said we got to get Dan training on the Gatling gun at the Glock store so he can protect the embassy mannequin. Yep, he needs to. Did you hear him this morning?
He's got to protect his mannequin wife.
He thought he had a mannequin wife during the simunition training at the Glock store. They said nobody told you that was your wife. He's like, well, I just assumed. Classic Dan.
Do you think Dan would have a Gatling gun or a cannon at the top of his stairs?
I think Dan deserves a cannon.
I think he's a cannon guy.
I mean, did you ever see the meme where they were like, when the Bill of Rights was written, they meant muskets. This, the Second Amendment, they were talking about cannons and muskets. And then some guy's like, all right, your terms are acceptable. And he actually posted a meme, and it's like all these cannons sticking out of his window. It's based.
That's huge. I love that.
Yep. The Gatling gun. Thing is sick.
Imagine that instead of fireworks on 4th of July.
Dude.
Just shooting down drones. Ooh.
Bad A.
I'm here for it.
Also, Whoopi Goldberg would like to be updated on the war plans.
Oh, yeah? She's on need-to-know basis?
She wished somebody would just tell her what the goal is.
Just tell me what's going on.
The goal is we don't want a nuclear weapon. The reality is we're not at a stalemate. The Strait of Hormuz is an issue today, but it looks like we're going to be able to get it open via military force, hopefully soon. CENTCOM yesterday announced that the U.S. launched multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on the Iranian missile sites along the Strait of Hormuz. So we do see Trump and this administration taking action to secure it. CENTCOM said the Iranian anti-ship cruise missiles in these sites posed a risk to international shipping in the Strait, so they took them out. A reporter yesterday was asking Donald Trump, the Strait of Hormuz came up a lot, but first, the talk of boots on the ground also came up. And this might be one of my favorite Trump clips. Now, the leftist media will run with this and be like, oh, my goodness, boots on the ground, imminent. But I don't see it that way. I see it how Donald Trump always plays these military operations. I'm not taking things off the table because that's a stupid thing to do. I don't think he's interested in putting boots on the ground. But this is his reaction to a reporter asking if he would put boots on the ground.
Because the Iranian regime has told Sky News, if you put boots on the ground in Iran, it will be another Vietnam. Are you afraid of that?
No, I'm really not afraid of anything.
Based. Absolutely. No, I'm not afraid. Iran said that it would be a mistake. Oh, which leadership? The ones that we just took out, or a couple rounds ago? Who said that? Are you nervous? No, I'm not afraid of anything. Meanwhile, though, the big topic of conversation is the Strait of Hormuz. And the Strait of Hormuz needs to be opened. We don't have any allies really stepping up. And a lot of people are making this, you have no allies in the region helping you. It's like, okay, yep, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates. I mean, we have allies in the region, Israel, that are helping us in all of this. Our traditional allies, Germany, England, bit of cold feet. President Trump was asked about that in opening the Strait of Hormuz.
What progress have you made, Mr. President, in getting America's allies to assist the U.S. in escorting those oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, we don't need too much help, and we don't need any help, actually. In fact, we just put out a notice. I was watching over the last couple of weeks, and all of our NATO allies were very much in favor of what we did. They thought it was very important. We were just discussing it, actually. Very important that we take out the nuclear threat from Iran, and we've done that very strongly, very powerfully. We've wiped out their Navy, wiped out their military in every aspect. Their Air Force is now decimated. They have no Air Force, no Navy. They have no radar. Their radar is entirely gone. Their anti-aircraft machinery is gone. Everything is gone. Their leaders are gone. I guess one of their top person was, they say, a lot of people say their actual top was killed yesterday.
It's a stalemate.
Along with somebody else who was responsible for the killing, the man that was responsible for the killing of 32,000 people over the last 2 weeks. He was in charge of the killing of protesters. It's an evil group. I mean, they've killed much more than 32,000 people.
We've taken out everything. It's a stalemate. Our allies don't want to help. Some allies, they are. But what's the time frame on reopening the Strait of Hormuz? President Trump said, hopefully not too long.
Time frame, Mr. President, for when cargo ships can safely go through the Strait of Hormuz?
It won't be, I don't believe, too long. We're knocking the hell out of the coast. It's basically the coast and the water. And it won't be too long. And the Middle Eastern states, including Israel, by the way, who has been terrific, the Middle Eastern states have been helping us a lot.
Won't be too long. Hopefully soon. Another reporter asked him, is this now a bigger foreign policy priority for you than China? Interesting question. The president's answer, top notch. This was yesterday again while he was doing the Irish jig in the Oval Office for St. Patrick's Day.
Two questions, one on Iran and one on Cuba. Is Iran now a bigger foreign policy priority for you than China? And on Cuba, the Cuban government.
Iran is just a military operation to me. Iran is something that was essentially largely over in 2 or 3 days because the Navy was wiped out almost immediately. The Air Force came next. The anti-aircraft came next. I mean, we're flying over Iran. We could take out their electric capacity in 1 hour. We have there's nothing they can do right now because everything is knocked out. They have no radar, no anti-aircraft. They have nothing.
This is one of the things that makes me so frustrated when the media goes, it's a stalemate. It's an absolute stalemate. It's like, no. The United States is showing so much restraint here. They could absolutely cripple this regime. In turn, it would hurt many innocent civilians. So the U.S. government is deciding not to do that. But if they wanted to, they could send Iran back to the Stone Age in less than an hour. No electricity. Congratulations. If you want to play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. I don't think the Trump administration wants to hurt innocent civilians. But if they were feeling like they needed to, they absolutely could. I hope it doesn't get there. I hope this is resolved very, very quickly. It looks like we got at least another couple weeks of this. Nobody's overly excited about a conflict in the Middle East. I just want to get it done as quickly as humanly possible. We'll take some more of your phone calls on the way. We got a few more comments on the NATO allies from President Trump that we want to get to. He threw some jabs at Keir Starmer, and I oddly found myself agreeing with John Bolton yesterday. I know. It's weird. I went and took a shower immediately after, I promise. You might have to take a shower, too, when you find yourself agreeing with John Bolton as well. Things I didn't have on my bingo card for 2026. We'll break it down when we get back. It's 10:22 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Brand new training exercise only available at the Glock store. My name is Chris Hand, and I got to tell you about the Simunition Force on Force exercise. It starts on March 21st. I was really lucky to be able to get in there Friday and try it before it opens to the public. And I got to tell you, this is the coolest way to train. You're not punching holes in a paper target. You're not dealing with anything like that. It's a real situation. So for me, this was the scenario. They said, all right, Chris, you're walking into your house and you got intruders. I'm like, okay. And I can hear them mulling about. They said, you don't know who has a gun. Only shoot the person with a firearm. Because one of the things about the simunition is you have to only shoot when you're legally justified to do so. And you have to be able to decide in a split second. I didn't know anything about the situation. My heart rate was elevated. I went in there. I see one guy said, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. He shows me his hands, so I didn't shoot him. Then another individual came around the corner with an AR. Boom, headshot. Absolutely based. And I did all of that with the sweatiest palms that you could imagine. You were going to have sweaty palms too. But you got to go to Glockstore.com, shoot270.com, shoot270.com, click on classes and then training. Shoot270.com, classes, then training. This starts on March 21st. The slots for March 21st are going fast. Shoot270.com, Force on Force training only at the Glock Store.
arrest an illegal from Peru. They were tipped off by school officials around here. Rough going on Wall Street today. It's tied to a report that came out this morning. We've got that and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joe Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Mason, you're getting blown up in there on the phone line. 615-737-9986. People have serious questions for Mason.
Big questions. Like, what's your favorite sandwich topping? And why are all our commercials in Spanish on the app?
I don't know.
I think it's a personal thing. You would have to go to the settings to adjust where you're located. But it also, most of those apps run off of like what you've been searching and what you've been watching already. So might be skewed a little Spanish.
Maybe you were on Walmart.com looking for taco fixings, and it really messed up your algorithm.
It really pulled it in.
It really was like, oh, okay, cool.
Maybe us talking about illegals might be pushing it a little too much.
Maybe we're talking too much about immigrations and customs enforcement. It's messing with your algo.
Who knows?
I don't know. But I think it's iHeartRadio that does Spanish apps.
Yeah.
Or Spanish ads.
Yeah.
There's other ways to watch and listen. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. No, I don't think we have any Spanish ads running on the actual station.
No,
they're welcome to. Their money's just as green.
Yep,
we're here for it. But on YouTube, no commercials.
Yeah, no commercials, just all Chris.
I don't know if that's a selling point.
That's fair. I have clips of Dan playing. Check him out.
My wife just texted me. She said it's snowing in the borough.
What? I don't see anything out here.
I'm going to tell her she's lying.
Liar, false news, fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
All right, so we got some stuff to get to. We had to address the Spanish commercials as one needs to.
It's 43 degrees. No, it's snowing in the borough.
I think, dude, I don't think it could be. Give it like 30 seconds. She's gonna be texting me about chemtrails. Let's get Steve on real quick. Let's talk about it. Joe Kent. What's up, Steve? Welcome to the show.
Hey, brother Chris. How's it going, man?
Good, man. What do you got?
Yeah, so on this Joe Yellowbelly Kent, Joe Kent, I just, want to just try to, what did he say? He said that he didn't see any, what's the word? The threat, he called it.
He didn't see any imminent threat. And this is after he had been cut out of, he wasn't in any of the Iran planning, and he'd been cut out of the intelligence briefings.
Imminent threat. Okay, so just real quick, man, let's rewind it back a little bit. Joe Biden was president during the October 7th Hamas/Iran-backed proxy attack.
Yep.
Let's take it all the way to ISIS, the Iran-backed militia. Let's take it to the Taliban, the Iran-backed, weaponized, and funded. So Iran, when they call Iran the number one sponsor of terror in the world, that's what they mean. All these terrorist groups of Islam have basically been planned out and put and set forth by Iran. So because they didn't think, I think they messed up, but they didn't calculate that Trump was going to be reelected maybe. But when he did, that's when the crap hit their fan.
Yep.
So now, right. So let's fast forward to now what just recently happened going over there. They are an imminent threat to the whole entire world, but not just that. And just the fact that I know all these people are getting spun out on conspiracies about AIPAC and Israel's influence in America and yada, yada, yada. But, man, just keep it basic and just look at what they did and what they're doing to just innocent people, attacking innocent people. That should be enough right there to tell you that, even attacks on us and everywhere else, they got to go, man.
Yep.
They are the beast of the Middle East.
I mean, it's like take up the imminent threat argument with a soldier who's returning from the Middle East missing an arm or a leg because of the roadside bombs supplied by Iran.
Yeah, and the threat with the nuclear threat on top of all of that other stuff, the suicide bombing, the whatever they're gonna try to do next. The nuclear threat, man, we can't just allow that to happen. It's not going to happen. So I don't know what's caught up Joe Kent, but where he lost his path along the way. But, man, he's being influenced by somebody that, he's really just – I think he's getting some bad info in the wrong ear over there. But let's look at what's happening now, okay? So now we're at the point where we're at. Big Daddy Trump has went over there and flattened it, knocked it all out, basically destroying those influencers and all that, and the terrorists that are over there in Iran itself.
Yep.
So now we got Marines over here. This is what everybody's wondering, boots on the ground, boots on the ground. Well, Marines are a part of the Navy. It's not really going to be like boots on the ground. I think the Marines are going to go in there to do operations, to pinpoint the mines, to detonate, to clear the mines, to clear up the strait, and to fight along the coastline of Iran in that strait to take out the any vessels, any boats. They're going to use like helos and crap like this, and they're going to be striking them. So once they're done, the oil's going to flow, prices will drop, everything's going to be good again. But it's not going to be like we're just going to take the Marines over there and drop them off in the middle of Iran to go hunt somebody down or something like that. This is finalizing what we've done over there. And think about this as the last point. When this is over, not just the oil and the money and all that, that's really not the important thing. The most important thing is all those other Islamic nations full of Muslims in those countries over there, they can fight back now. They can get rid of these terrorists, these ideologists that have taken control, that have raped their women and children, that have killed their women and children, and that are holding them all down and holding them all back and terrorizing them. Now the future in the Middle East will be brighter. They will have a chance to fight back with whatever support they can get. Gaza will be taken care of. It's already been agreed upon. It's already been settled. So everybody else, let's put all this scare tactic, confusion stuff away, man. It's really simple.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from, Steve. We're up against it. I pray that a lot of what you said comes to fruition, including peace in the Middle East. I still don't really want to see even our Marines on the ground. I'd rather take a distance approach, and I think that the administration has been doing that thus far. But we'll talk about it. We'll take more of your phone calls on the way. 34 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. ICE officers have arrested a criminal illegal immigrant in Middle Tennessee after a school official tipped them off. Luis Oliveira was arrested in Nashville Saturday. ICE says that his daughter learned he had been freed from prison, and she feared he would kill her mother. She told a school official who tipped off ICE. Oliveira is here illegally from Peru. He was convicted of attacking his wife in 2019 and had been released from Trousdale Turner Correction Facility without notifying ICE. President Trump is set to attend the dignified transfer of 6 U.S. service members who died aboard a refueling aircraft that crashed in Iraq. That ceremony is taking place at 12:25 this afternoon in Dover, Delaware. Meantime, the U.S. military carrying out a new strike involving so-called bunker busters to prevent Iran from hitting commercial shipping in the critical Strait of Hormuz.
CENTCOM saying they used, quote, multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites along Iran's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. They say Iranian anti-ship cruise missiles there posed a risk to international shipping in the strait.
ABC's Alex Stone. The Federal Reserve Board of Governors wraps up its latest 2-day meeting today. The chances, though, of an interest rate reduction, not good, after a key gauge of inflation came in hotter than anticipated.
Economists anticipated a 0.3% rise in the producer price index for February. The number from the Bureau of Labor Statistics has come in at more than double that. Compared to a year earlier, core prices stripping out volatile food and energy costs were up 3.9%, the biggest jump since January of 2025.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan. Stocks are trading sharply lower today. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dan Mandis. It is a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals, no paperwork, and no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day with a rate that's at a 3-year low. Now, one client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out all their credit cards, started a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,500. Call Loan Pronto right now and see how much money you can get. No hard credit pull up front. Loan Pronto, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with nearly 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 615-499-5780. 615-499-5780. Online anytime at loanpronto.com. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166 1781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
In the market for a new home, you may have questions. What loan is right for you? What neighborhood should you look for? How important is purchasing power and how to stay competitive in today's housing environment? I'm Tanya.
.38 past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You're welcome to join the show any way you'd like. 615-737-9986. That's the number to call in or text in. You can also jump in the chat on YouTube. Hail to the chat. They're always getting crazy.
Yeah, they're a little wild over there, a little rambunctious.
So my wife had texted me and said it's snowing in Murfreesboro. And I said that sounds like fake news, right?
Fake news.
But the text line started blowing up. A lot of people saying that there's a lot of snow falling.
Interesting.
In Murfreesboro. But I had already responded to my wife, fake news. And then remember I said she's probably going to hit me up about chemtrails or something.
Yeah.
She wrote back, more like fake snow. Get yourself a based and red-pilled wife.
Chem snow falling from the sky.
Chem snow.
It's that chem snow. Sorry.
Catch the chemicals on your tongue. I can taste it.
I can taste the poisoning in my blood.
It's so good. It's so good. This is how I live my life. Like literally the other day, I was like, my son was like, "We're gonna catch snowflakes on our tongue." I was like, "No, it's full of chemicals.
Don't risk it. Not worth it.
Don't do it."
But don't the clouds filter it?
They don't.
Fake clouds.
Wicked fake clouds. Everybody knows it.
Unreal.
Donald Trump yesterday. I keep saying he's doing an Irish jig. I mean, the guy got a shamrock. He's got his green tie on.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's in the mood.
Even the American flag pin that he was wearing, it had a green hue.
Yeah,
over it.
Big fan of the holiday,
dude. We have some shamrocks at our house that we got a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
best plants. Best plants. They they move towards the sunlight and they spread out their leaves. Then at night they all droop their leaves.
Oh, interesting.
They go to sleep.
Interesting.
You can't overwater it. You don't really need to give it sun. It's like the best plant if you're gonna kill stuff. I'm telling you.
Survive on their own,
dude. We've killed it a few times and it just comes back.
Like, I thought you were gone.
Luck of the Irish.
Thought you moved on.
We didn't do a lot of St. Patrick's Day stuff yesterday. I don't even think we acknowledged it. Did we acknowledge St. Patrick's Day yesterday?
No, not at all.
No. Yeah, people just get blackout drunk for whatever reason. They're not even Irish.
Yeah, we're America-based, not Ireland-based.
Yeah, go eat a potato if you celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Go eat your spuds.
Yeah. The potato famine, I guess, was never real, by the way. Did you hear that conspiracy theory?
Mm-mm.
It doesn't make any sense. How could potatoes How? That's all you eat?
Yeah. I mean, it was one of their big imports, but like potatoes aren't even from Ireland.
I don't know.
I think they're from, I don't know, lower Europe.
Wherever.
Not Ireland, that's for sure.
I'm not overly impressed with the Irish.
Me neither.
But we can go into any bar in Ireland and order an Irish car bomb.
True.
It's weird. Donald Trump. So yesterday, he's doing his Irish jig, and he's talking about NATO. What? Nathan's just laughing. What?
That transition, unabashed.
What?
You can order an Irish car bomb.
You can.
Anyways, Trump said this.
Well, I just think it's weird that like you're allowed to celebrate the terror attacks that they had to deal with in the form of an alcoholic drink.
Well, they like dark humor over there.
But do we go? Offended. Can you go anywhere over there and order, I don't know, a Columbine?
Probably not.
No, it would be frowned upon.
Yeah.
So, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Just saying.
Anyway, President Trump's not happy with NATO.
Are you rethinking the United States' relationship with NATO, possibly getting out?
I'm disappointed in NATO that we spend trillions of dollars on NATO. Think of it, trillions over the years, many trillions of dollars. It's one of the reasons we have deficits and we help other countries. And when they don't help us, I mean, it's certainly something that we should think about. I don't need Congress for that decision, as you probably know. I can make that decision myself. I'd work with some very smart people. And I'd always deal with Congress anyway, but I don't need Congress for that decision. But, you know, when you say rethink, I have nothing currently in mind, but I will say that I'm not exactly thrilled when we help them with Ukraine. Look, Ukraine would have been over in one day if we didn't help. Frankly, Ukraine would have been over in the first day. They had the best equipment in the world. It was our equipment given by Sleepy Joe Biden. No charge, no charge. Hundreds of billions of dollars of the best equipment in the world, no charge.
And no real return on the investment. I mean, even when we go over there and we help our allies, when we say, hey, you guys want to get in on this with us? They're like, love to, but we're a little busy this weekend. Ooh, let me check with the wife. I don't know. It's embarrassing. Meanwhile, when they need help with the Russia-Ukraine stuff, we have to jump at a moment's notice. We have to defend Europe. Now, you can make the argument maybe Europe is a bit nervous because they've imported so many of these radical Muslims that they're worried if they get involved, they're going to be dealing with the same terror threat that we're dealing with. I think you could make the argument that you're already dealing with that terror threat. I'm not sure how much worse it could get, but you could make the argument that they're scared. And I think that argument's supported by the fact that we have some NATO allies jumping in and helping us, and they don't even want to be mentioned, probably because of the overwhelming radical Islamic population that they have in their countries. But why? Why on earth do we bend over backwards for these so-called allies? And then we ask for a bit of assistance. We don't really need their help. But we say, you guys want to come for the ride? And they go, I don't know. But they'd be the first ones on the phone if they were in dire straits. Please help us. We need you. We can't do anything without the United States. I mean, the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, yesterday, we played a clip on the show. He's like, hey, if you think that you can get along without the U.S., I wish you the best of luck. Good luck in your future endeavors. If you think 5% spending at NATO is too high, you're going to be spending 10% if you do it on your own, and then you're not under the umbrella of the nuclear weapon protection from America. Best of luck to you. All of these countries demand our protection. But it's like the chicken in the bread. I mean, we all heard this story, right? The chicken is like, hey, who wants to help me make some bread? Nobody wants to help him make the bread. And then when the bread's there, everybody wants to eat. And it's like, no, you can't eat the bread. You didn't help us when we were making the bread. I don't mean to oversimplify things into children's fairy tales, but I mean it's a pretty good analogy. All these allies, they don't want to help make any bread, but they want to eat. No. Hard pass. On Keir Starmer, the president was asked, has his opinion changed of him? And he said, he's like, no, I didn't think highly of him to begin with. That's not exactly what he said. But he was asked, what do you think about Keir Starmer lately and his inaction?
About your relationship with London, has it been damaged by the fact that Keir Starmer isn't supporting you in this war? And has your opinion of Keir Starmer changed because of this?
Well, he hasn't been supportive, and I think it's a big mistake. You know, They make a lot of money on trade with the United States. I went out of my way, as you know, they couldn't make a deal with Biden because they had no real administration to make a deal, Biden. But we made a deal. We made a good deal for them, and frankly, probably wasn't appreciated. I do look forward to seeing the king. He's going to be coming, as you know, very shortly. But
that's a jab in and of itself. Well, you know, Keir, he's useless, weak, could barely get anything done. I look forward to talking to his boss, though. Actually, I'm gonna be meeting with upper management in England. That'll be nice. If you're the king in England, don't you just, at a certain point, do you just go, you know, we tried the Parliament thing? That's what I would do.
Not a fan.
It hasn't really worked out in favor of us. We're actually a lot less British than we used to be. What's the benefit here? Wouldn't you take it back? If I was the king, I'd probably take it back.
Yeah, I feel like the crown is just a
placeholder.
Yeah, a glorified prop.
It's just a piece of jewelry at this point.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, hey, by the way, we have this. You think that's cool?
It's pretty cool. Have you seen my throne and my scepter?
That's a pretty cool scepter.
It's pretty based. I have this red robe I can wear too. Right?
Yeah, and this very large crown that kind of fits on my head.
I mean, but that is a power. Well, you know, Keir Starmer's a bum, but we're going to be meeting with the king. Looking forward to that.
But no, I was disappointed because Keir was willing to send 2 aircraft carriers after we won, because essentially there's no threat for the aircraft carriers right now. And I said, no, we want things sent before the war, not after the war is won. So, yeah, I'm disappointed with Keir. I like him. I think he's a nice man, but I'm disappointed.
Mr. President, you said Joe Kent.
Mr. President, what? You see that man right there? You know who that is?
Churchill.
That's the late, great Winston Churchill. And Barack Hussein Obama did not want his bust in this office. Did you know that? And Barack Hussein Obama sent that bust back to England. They didn't want it. And when I came in, I was asked if I wanted it. I said, absolutely, I want it. And I put it right there, Winston Churchill. And, you know, unfortunately, Keir is not Winston Churchill.
Jeez. Just the absolute savage. Hey, you know, I'm going to meet with his boss next week. Obama catches a random stray, and then Keir Starmer's not Winston Churchill. You think the relationship with Keir and Trump is rosy? No. But again, all these European nations want our help when they need it, and they don't want to chip in when they're asked. I found myself yesterday, and I had to take a shower right after. I vomited in my mouth a little bit as mustache aficionados man of the year, John Bolton, said something that I agreed with. So, yuck. Even saying it out loud, I find it just gross. But broke clocks, right? Broke clocks are right twice a day. And John Bolton, he said NATO is being a bit foolish here because they're opening the door for Donald Trump to say this.
But I will say I think the Europeans make a mistake by responding to that kind of juvenile behavior with juvenile behavior of their own. A number of European leaders, including Kaja Kallas, the European Union's chief foreign policy official, have said expressly, Iran is not our war. That's a very dangerous way to put it because it invites Donald Trump. It almost teases him to come back and say, well, okay, Iran is not your war. Ukraine is not our war.
He's right, you know. And I hope the president does make that statement. Oh, cool. You guys don't want in? You're not down? Perfect. You're on your own then. Congratulations. You don't want to help make the bread? You don't get any bread. 1051, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at United Structural Systems. It was a few weeks back. We had the crazy ice storm. Just over the weekend, we had more insane rain. And your soil has been going through the freeze and thaw cycles ever since then. I mean, it's already freezing again. It was freezing overnight. And when that happens, that freeze-thaw cycle, it's quietly compromising your home's foundation. It just is. This is where United Structural Systems comes in. They've been helping people's foundations for more than 30 years in Middle Tennessee since 1994. Homeowners have had their foundation damage caused by storms and severe weather repaired and the waterproofing issues fixed right the first time. And these guys don't offer quick fixes. That's not their style. They offer long-term solutions because your home is too important to gamble with. What really sets USS apart is they're not sending a sales guy worried about a quota. They're sending a professional worried about your home. And they have no issue telling you if it's a small fix or if it needs a bit more planning. USS is the team that's going to break it all down for you. If you have foundation issues after severe weather, waterproofing issues after big rainstorms, choose a company that stands with Tennessee families. Choose United Structural Systems. 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, USSTN.com.
Drivers got a crash blocking the left lane, 65 northbound, right there at Harding Place. The stop and go starts at Old Hickory Boulevard about 2 miles before you get there. Dripped your faucets during January's ice storm? Well, Nashville's still not quite ready to pay you back. Details coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. Welcome to the program, Ken.
What's going on, Brother Hand and Brother Mason?
We're excited to have you. You missed the vomit-inducing moment where I found myself agreeing with John Bolton.
I actually heard you talk about that.
Did your stomach flip a little bit too? So I apologize for having to do that, but I feel like I owe it to the audience to be honest.
Well, I mean, you always are, Brother Chris.
John Bolton.
You watch CNN, so we don't have to.
Mustache aficionado, man of the year. He's still requesting all those mustache combs back from when they raided his house. He's like, I think him and his lawyers filed a petition to get the 300 mustache combs back.
I only found 70 returned.
300?
It was a lot,
dude.
Of mustache combs.
He had them mounted to his wall, and they confiscated every single
They got
one.
all of them. It was like 2 truckloads. Every time I do the story, it's going to be more. It was 3 tons of mustache combs.
They took all his Power Fist mustache combs.
They did. They took
Ooh.
everything. They took everything. They took the mustache oil. They said, what is this?
Confiscate that.
We knew you were down for war for oil. We didn't know it was mustache oil. John Bolton. He did. Listen, he made some sense when he said European leaders are making a mistake not backing up Trump in this operation in the Middle East.
Leaders, including Kaja Kallas, the European Union's chief foreign policy official, have said expressly, Iran is not our war. That's a very dangerous way to put it because it invites Donald Trump. It almost teases him to come back and say, well, okay, Iran is not your war. Ukraine is not our war.
I hope he does. Also, it's a little awkward hearing John Bolton talking about teasing Donald Trump. It's just weird. We got a lot more to talk about on the way. We'll dive into the SAVE Act. We'll take more of your phone calls. Mike is on the line. He wants to talk about the government shutdown. We'll get to your call next, Mike. Hang out with us right now. The headlines with Ken Weaver on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Immigration and Custom Enforcement officers in Nashville have arrested a Peruvian man convicted of kidnapping, aggravated assault, battery, and arson. Officials say Luis Mesa Oliveira was released from the Trousdale Turner Correctional Center without ICE being notified. News Channel 5 says his daughter told a school official she feared he would return to kill her mother, prompting the tip that led to his arrest. ICE says Mesa Oliveira was taken into custody on March 14th. Dripped your faucets during January's ice storm? Well, Nashville's still not quite ready to pay you back. Metro Council considering a one-time $25 water bill credit for all Metro Water Services customers. The move is meant to offset higher bills from dripping faucets during the ice storm. The ordinance was deferred, but will return for a vote next month. If it passes, the Water Department could apply the credits to customer accounts automatically. President Trump's nominee to lead the Department of Homeland Security, Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin, appearing to have a run-up against opposition from the GOP chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Republican Chairman Rand Paul accused his fellow GOP senator of having a propensity to violence.
Explain to the American public why they should trust a man with anger issues to set the proper example for ICE and Border Patrol agents.
Paul pointed to what Markwayne Mullin said about him last month, that he completely understood why Paul's neighbor attacked him in 2017. For that, Mullen didn't apologize.
Seems like you fight Republicans more than you work with us.
Mullen vowed, if confirmed.
We can have our differences. It's not going to keep me from doing my job as Secretary of Homeland Security.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Operation Epic Fury update.
President Trump travels to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware today for the dignified transfer of remains of the 6 U.S. service members killed in the crash of a refueling aircraft in Iraq. This is the second time since the start of the war on Iran that the president has attended this solemn ritual. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt this morning described it as the hardest thing he does as commander-in-chief. 13 service members have died so far in the war. More than 200 have been wounded, and roughly 70% of them have suffered traumatic brain injuries, according to a U.S. official. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Federal Reserve expected to announce what they'll do about interest rates today, and the war in Iran could change the economic outlook. We get more from ABC's Elizabeth Schultz.
The Fed is expected to keep rates on hold this afternoon, and investors now think that it is unlikely rates go down in the next couple of months. That's because the spike in oil can quickly translate into higher prices across the economy. Higher prices mean inflation, and typically when inflation accelerates, the Fed will raise interest rates, not cut them.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 6 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. They're actually, the Better Water guys are at my house today. They're installing a water filter.
Ooh.
Yeah. My kids wanted frogs, and I said, not so fast.
I got something.
So let me call my friends first. And so we called them. And now we can go down to the river, and the frogs there are free.
They're free, and they don't have to. They're straight,
and they don't have to worry about our water if we bring them home now, because you know what you have to worry about, right?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Betterwater.com. It's a reason.
It's a good reason.
It's a good reason. I also never really wanted the frogs, and now I've run out of the excuses.
Yeah.
We already have a turtle. Any of these animals that you find out there in the wild are free. You know that, right?
Yeah. Well, except according to Murphy, you have to get some weird license and bill pass for a raccoon. Blah.
I mean, here's the thing with Murphy. You don't have to get the permit if you don't tell anybody about the pet raccoon.
Yeah.
But everybody knows, this is the thing with Murphy. If he gets a pet raccoon, he's going to tell everybody about the pet raccoon.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be like Rufus the other day.
See, this is the problem for people that own raccoons. They can't help but tell others.
They got to talk about
the raccoon that they own.
Because that's not a normal pet.
The first
rule,
talk
about that.
The first rule of Raccoon Club is we don't talk about Raccoon Club.
Obviously.
We've already talked about it too much.
Yeah, you've already said his name 3 times.
You can't talk about it. And then you don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know one of my favorite raccoon clips?
What, you have a raccoon clip?
I'm not going to play it, but there's one that I've seen on the internet that I quite enjoy. Do you know how that raccoons wash their...
No.
Hold on.
How many raccoon videos are you watching online?
Listen, I have ADHD. The rabbit hole goes far. The raccoon hole? No. Hold on.
Hold on.
Pause.
Pause. Mason is going down the raccoon hole.
Shut up.
Leave me alone.
Okay.
So raccoons wash their food.
So you're spending free time watching raccoon videos.
Yeah. Raccoons wash their food before they eat it. There's a video that I saw going around where a raccoon was given cotton candy. And you know what happens when you put cotton candy in water? It dissolves because it's sugar. The look of betrayal, I didn't think that expression was possible on a raccoon's face.
But it is.
People
don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. So this is why you oversleep because you're up all night. You're taking the raccoon pill.
Yeah, watching raccoons, being nocturnal. It's not a good choice, but it do.
I don't believe that they wash all their food.
It's part of
the trash bandits.
Yeah,
they wash everything.
They find it, they scurry away. They find a little puddle. I mean, it's not clean water probably. But it's like
they're just misguided.
Yeah. It has to be rinsed before eaten. Okay.
With that, we're going to go to Mike in Nashville. Who wants to talk about the government shutdown, not raccoons? Thank you, Mike. What do you got?
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, Chris, you're doing a good job as usual. First hour of them calls is pretty interesting with that one guy who calls in all the time. But yeah, Chris, I want to talk about how dangerous this situation is getting with these agents not being available. I'm understanding, that some of these airports are even talking about shutting down.
Yep.
Do you know how dangerous it is? We're in a war right now, and we already know that we have individuals in this country that are terrorists that were let in by Biden. Do you think that those people don't know that, and that they're not going to try to board an airplane and try to do some damage because they know that we don't have the proper security? The Democrats ought to be ashamed of themselves for what they're doing, Chris, because they're putting American lives in jeopardy just because of the hatred of Donald Trump.
Well, you're absolutely right. And then even worse than that, think about how quickly these terror attacks have vanished from the news. Like the leftist mainstream media isn't even giving the American public the actual rundown on how dangerous it is out there right now. The Old Dominion University shooting in Virginia vanished from the news. The Austin, Texas terror attack at that bar vanished from the news. What has anybody talked about the Michigan synagogue attack lately? No, of course not. The IEDs that were thrown at conservative protesters outside the mayor's mansion in New York City. It's like it just disappears from the news so fast. And the Democrats, not only are they just like lying about the reality of the situation and avoiding confronting it, but they're keeping Americans less safe by keeping the Department of Homeland Security shut down.
Yeah, it's really sad, Chris, because like I said before, we have some dangerous people in the U.S. right now, and they've already said that Iran has told their cell operations to go ahead and take effect in America, due to what, Trump is doing. And these airlines are basically wide open. It makes no sense, Chris, for people that have to stand in line 4 or 5 hours to go through baggage checkout. Then you got people standing out in the parking lot from the building out to the parking lot in certain areas, Austin, Texas, and certain other cities I've heard about. This makes no sense. And you got people that are actually, they said that you have people that are asking for food donations right now, Chris, to take care of their family because they're not receiving a pay from the government due to this shutdown. The Democrats and that guy, Hakeem Jeffries, we talked about him last time. That guy here is a turncoat. And here's what's really scary. You talked about it last time, Chris. That guy could actually be the Speaker of the House for the United States of America. And if that don't scare you, I don't know what will. And I thank you for taking my call this morning.
Mike, I appreciate you as always. You're absolutely right about the airports. The current situation with TSA not looking good.
Because as this shutdown drags on, we're seeing more and more TSA workers call out, which is causing problems at some of our nation's busiest airports. Officers missed their first full paycheck on Friday, and as a result, the call-out rate for TSA officers was 10.19% on Sunday. That's compared to the normal 2% before the shutdown. And so far, 366 DHS officers have quit, looking for employment that actually pays. Others are turning to side work like Uber or Instacart, and in some cases, they are giving blood to afford gas to drive into work. With less staff, there are less security lanes open. That is why in Austin, they are recommending travelers get to the airport 2.5 hours early. In Atlanta, 3 hours early.
Insanity. To be fair, I'm the crazy person that shows up for his flight 2 hours early anyway.
I do the same thing.
I'm like, I can't deal with it. Like, there's just too much anxiety.
Too much money on the line.
Like, let me get there, and then I can just chill. And a lot of times, it's like, I'll just do my work from the airport lobby. But there's other people that they're like, dude, this is not normal. Why are we doing this? You're hearing TSA agents selling blood, plasma donations. Is that what we're doing?
I relate to that hard.
Dude, but you're showing up every day. It's like, we can debate whether the TSA should be a federal agency or whether or not it should be privatized. I think that's a healthy debate. I think that the TSA, a lot of it is security theater. I think that's fair. A lot of stuff gets through. I should be able to walk my wife to the gate. Like, there are things that I think is insane about TSA. That being said, when these individuals are showing up for work, the ones that are showing up for work are not getting paid, and they got a mortgage, and they got kids to feed. Like, this is ridiculous. And you're making Americans less safe by not funding the Department of Homeland Security at a time where the terror threat is exceedingly high. What are you doing? Honestly. And it all goes back to the Democrats. The Democrats are kicking and screaming once again over ICE. ICE is funded, guys. Spoiler alert, nothing you're doing is hurting ICE. It's not hurting Border Patrol. It's not slowing down the operations to enforce our immigration laws. The only thing that can come of this is Americans being hurt. You can make the case Americans are already being hurt when you see TSA agents having to sell blood or call out so that they can pick up an Uber Eats shift because they got to put food on the table for their wife and kids. I mean, what are we doing here? The Republicans, meanwhile, they're actually trying to negotiate with the Senate Democrats in exchange for reopening DHS. So when they say the Republicans are doing this, no. The Republicans are actively trying to negotiate to get this thing open.
Now, we have another bit of news that's just broken. We have a letter here that has been sent by James Blair. He is the Deputy Chief of Staff at the White House, and the border czar, Tom Homan, to Susan Collins, who's the chair of the Appropriations Committee, and Katie Britt, the Republican senator from Alabama, who's been working on the DHS funding. And in this letter, they lay out some terms that the Democrats have been asking for. They say that, quote, they will adhere to visible officer ID for, federal officers in immigration raids. They will expand the use of body cameras, and they will limit where they enforce. In other words, they won't go to schools and houses of worship and things like that. This is significant because this is the first time we have seen any movement in weeks on the DHS, shutdown. This has been going on now for more than a month. We don't know that will result in something, but this is significant because that's the first time we've seen some movement like that by the White House.
Well, no, nothing's going to be resolved. The Democrats are going to say you didn't go far enough. I mean, that's where the conversation is going to move. Oh, no. This was just noise. The Republicans don't mean any of this. Also, To be fair, the letter that was sent, it basically just laid out the policies that they already have. But the Democrats don't want Americans safe, and they're going to keep Americans less safe by keeping DHS defunded, and they're doing it over ICE. Tom Homan was asked about the Democrats, and he had some things to say for Chuck Schumer and the Democrats that are defending illegal aliens. This was last night on the Ingram Angle.
70% of everybody arrested is a public safety threat or a criminal. That's who we're going to arrest. And Schumer out there is saying that ICE is terrorizing communities. No, the people we're arresting are terrorizing communities, and that's why we're out there putting our lives on the line to arrest these people and take them off the street, make this country safer again.
But this has been an argument for a long time. And I think that we all can understand that the Democrats are prioritizing illegal aliens over American citizens, and they have a number of reasons to do so. For starters, they like the voters. They just do. And even if you don't want to go down the voting route, okay, the illegal aliens get counted in the census, and there's a lot of representation that comes from those illegal alien bodies in these blue states, especially when you have a mass exodus of American citizens from these same blue states, New York, California, Illinois, because they want to get away from the terrible Democrat policies that have ruined all of these states. So the fight right now, it's not just about ICE. It's about keeping these illegal aliens in the country, because coming up, man, before we know it, and I know it's 2026, but before we know it, it's going to be 2030. The next census is going to be here, and the Democrats need those non-citizen bodies for that census.
Country. And hoping during the next administration, the Democratic administration, all of a sudden we got amnesty. All of a sudden everybody gets amnesty. They think they're future Democratic voters. But remember, when Joe Biden opened the border up, he also overturned the Trump census rule, and that way illegal aliens, millions of illegal aliens in sanctuary cities, they'll be counted in the census. What does that result in? More seats in the House for the Dems. They sold this country out for future political power. They saw future political benefit in doing this. And as we're removing record numbers of these people, they're mad. They're pissed off because we're ruining their long-term plans for power for decades to come. But we're going to keep arresting. President Trump promised a mass deportation. That's exactly what we're going to do. And I don't think we're going to lose the White House anytime soon. So we're going to keep doing it.
That's Tom Homan, and he's one of the best in the Trump administration. He is the border czar. He's the guy in charge of these operations now. But all of these stories are rolled into one. It's the DHS funding, the illegal aliens, ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, and then the SAVE Act. And the SAVE Act, I mean, it's being debated on the floor. It doesn't look like it's going to get passed, the Save America Act. But the Democrats are already off to a hot start debating this thing. Senator Jeff Merkley, Democrat out of Oregon, he's fighting against the Save America Act. And he's deciding to do so by saying the quiet parts out loud.
This bill is about stopping groups from voting who tend to vote for Democrats.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. That group would be the non-citizen, the undocumented, the illegal alien, if you prefer. Correct, sir. You are correct.
This bill is about stopping groups from voting who tend to vote for Democrats. This is, again, about rigging the next election.
Or unrigging it. Or unrigging, depending on who you ask. You say tomato, I say tomato. We don't do the potato thing, though, out of respect for our Irish brothers. It's 11:21, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. I have a question for you. How long have you been living with the pain? The back pain, the neck pain, the sciatica, the slip disc, herniated disc, spinal stenosis. Maybe you just got numbness or weakness in your hands or feet, and you think that's just part of getting older. You know, it doesn't have to be. With the Wellness Institute of Nashville, you can get back to a pain-free life today. no surgery, no opioids, no painful injections. What you will find is 47% off state-of-the-art spinal decompression, non-surgical spinal decompression. You're also going to find the only office in Tennessee with a brand new device called the HydroWave. This is going to stimulate your own stem cells for healing at the cellular level. You pair that with robotic lasers, anti-gravity machines, cryotherapy. This is as advanced as you can get when it comes to treating your pain. Talk to Dr. Mitchell today. Bring your MRI. He'll break it all down. He'll give you x-rays if needed, and he'll map out a real plan to end your pain once and for all. It starts with a phone call, and this phone call will change your life. 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009. You can learn more about their treatments online as well at painisbad.com. But your pain-free life starts today. Painisbad.com.
An argument and then shots fired at a South Nashville bus stop. I've got that story and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming he's okay. He's doing okay.
That's what go, Brother Mason.
Tomorrow.
He's doing better than usual.
I like his hats.
I didn't really appreciate the pro raccoon stance that he took earlier.
Listen, if me and Murphy agree on one thing, it's raccoons should be pets.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm fine with them being pets.
Just don't need to pass a bill for it.
We just don't need to talk about it in public. Like, keep it on the low, dog.
Yeah.
Keep it on the low.
First rule of Raccoon Club.
Yeah, you don't talk about Raccoon Club, and you're ruining the black market for raccoons. These are people's livelihoods that you're dealing with.
How'd that raccoon get in the house?
We don't know. They're tricky. They're tricky.
Tricky little guy.
He snuck in here, and he brought a bed monogrammed with his name. I don't know what he was doing.
He has his own food bowl? I don't know where he got that from.
They have thumbs, you know. Not out of the realm. It's not out of the realm of possibilities that he stitched that himself. All right, enough about the raccoons. You can be as pro-raccoon as you want to be or as anti-raccoon as you want to be.
True.
We're here for the conversation. House Oversight Committee has announced that James Comer has issued a subpoena to one Pam Bondi to testify over the handling of the release of files related to the deceased deceased. Convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. I did the air quotes for my conspiracy theorists in the YouTube chat. Deceased. Still playing Fortnite, but who doesn't? Who doesn't? We hear from deceased people all the time. As you know, it's no big deal. So in a post on X, the committee shared photos of a letter addressed to Bondi, which stated the committee was reviewing the possible mismanagement of the federal government's investigation into Epstein and the circumstances and subsequent investigations of Mr. Epstein's death. Pam Bondi has a lot of questions to answer to. I mean, for starters, what the hell was up with Bindergate? I mean, you hoist these binders onto these influencers who are not there to meet with Pam Bondi at the White House. This was last year. And then there's no new information in the binders. Then you get caught on hidden camera by James O'Keefe and O'Keefe Media Group saying there's tens of thousands of files and they're all with kids. It's really dark and disgusting. You're the top cop in America. You get caught on hidden camera. I mean, that's a huge red flag. So she gets caught on camera. Then she goes on Fox News. She says, the files are on my desk, and we're reviewing them. Then it was like a couple days later, she goes, there's no more files. Why do you keep asking about the files? And we're like, wait, what? The binder said phase 1. You said on hidden camera that you're reviewing tens of thousands of these videos and images. And then you also said that they're on your desk, and now that there's no files. Then pressure ramps up. It's mounted against the administration, the DOJ, and they go, oh, gee whiz, we found 3 million files after the Epstein Transparency Act was signed into law by the President of the United States. Then we get 3 million files. But still no prosecutions, still no investigations, and I think the American public is fed up with Pam Bondi on this one. I think she's dropped the ball too many times, and I wonder if this deposition could be the straw that breaks the camel's back with Pam Bondi. How well does she do? What do we learn from this deposition? It's going to be interesting to see it play out. Bondi's subpoena directs her to appear for the deposition on April 14th, 2026. So we got about a month, a little less than a month, and Pam Bondi is going to be deposed. They said the committee has questions regarding the Department of Justice's handling of the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and his associates and its compliance with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. As Attorney General, you are directly responsible for overseeing the department's collection, review, and determinations regarding the release of files pursuant to the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and the committee therefore believes that you possess valuable insight into these issues. The committee may use the results of this investigation to inform legislative solutions to improve federal efforts to combat sex trafficking and reform the use of non-prosecution agreements and or plea agreements in sex crime investigations, the letter continued. Comer's letter to Bondi, officially subpoenaing her to testify before the House committee, comes after the committee in early March voted 24-19 to subpoena her. Lauren Boebert, Tim Burchett, Michael Cloud, Nancy Mace, Scott Perry were reported to have voted in favor along with the Democrats on the committee. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bondi as she gets deposed, and we'll be following that story for you here as closely as possible. Another Pam Bondi story has been making the rounds, this one with a request from a foreign government. That's going to be our lead story when we kick off the lightning round, which is going to happen after the headlines with Ken Weaver, which start right now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and let the big warm-up begin starting today. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, Metro Police say one person's in custody after a shooting at a South Nashville bus stop this morning. Happened around 9:19 on Murfreesboro Pike. The victim taken to Vanderbilt Medical Center with injuries. Investigators still working to learn what led to the gunfire. Metro Nashville leaders calling on Congressman Andy Ogles to resign after he said Muslims do not belong in American society and should be deported. This is Metro Council member Jeff Prepteet, as seen on News Channel 5.
And so to Andy Ogles, I say, you have demonstrated your inability to uphold your oath of office. Because of that, you must resign.
Comments made on InfoWars and later repeated during a House hearing by Ogles.
I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Deport them all.
So community groups say his remarks put Tennessee Muslims at risk. He represents a district with more than 40,000 Muslim residents and is scheduled to be on WTN's Matt Murphy Show live tomorrow afternoon at 4:30.
Ogles did nothing wrong. Sorry.
A tip leads to an ICE arrest in Nashville. A school official leading ICE agents to arrest Luis Mesa Oliveira in Nashville. The Peruvian national had been convicted of multiple violent crimes, including kidnapping and arson. His daughter reported fearing for her mother's life after learning he had been released from custody. ICE says they took Mesa Oliveira into custody on March 14th. And today, President Trump's new pick to lead the Department of Homeland Security, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma, facing tough questions from the Senate Homeland Security Committee. Here's Mullen going at it with committee chair Rand Paul.
I don't believe in political violence. I've made that very clear. But sometimes people do need, theoretically speaking, sir, I get it. It's about character assassination for you. That's the way this game is played. I understand it. And you are making this about you, which is fine, but that doesn't keep me as Secretary of Homeland Security.
It's character assassination when you were the one lauding the assault. Who do you think started that character assassination? I'm just repeating what you have done in character assassination. I'm repeating your support for the assault. So that's somehow something I started?
No, sir. What I'm saying is you're adding a lot to it.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. No waiting, no nonsense. Open enrollment is a myth. It's a scam. You can get good health insurance today. The big insurance providers want you to believe the myth. Don't. With Cover Nash, you can get covered right now. Again, no waiting, no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage, that sucks. Talk to Shane Ring. If you're just sick of overpriced junk insurance, you are in the right place. Cover Nash partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, ACA compliant plans with free preventative care. Whether you're an individual, a family, self-employed, you own a small business, there are plans for you that won't break the bank. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, stop thinking you're stuck. Talk to Shane Ring today. If I'm a betting man, Shane's at his desk right now waiting for your call. 615-465-0023, 615-465-0023, or you can hit him up online, book online, covernash.com. 38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Mason Fleming producing the show. Ken Weaver in the newsroom. You guys on the phone lines and the text line, 615-737-9986. Every day at this time, we like to have a little bit of fun. We call it the Lightning Round.
It's the Lightning Round with Chris Hand.
We take this opportunity to run through all the stories we didn't have a chance to get to, stories that wouldn't fill up a whole segment, and stories we just think are fun. We like to call it the Lightning Round. You're quick on the lightning today. I like it.
Well, apparently I'm a slacker and not doing great today, so I got to step it up somewhere.
Okay.
Calling me out for reasons I don't know.
I didn't say you were a slacker.
It was implied.
Yes, it was implied, but I didn't say it.
Those words didn't come out of my mouth.
Don't put words in my mouth. And you've had a very pro-raccoon stance, which is questionable.
Listen, would you rather me... Never mind, I'm not going to say that.
Don't say it. Don't say it. We don't need you to go back down the raccoon hole.
Yeah. Whoa, see? You're saying it now.
I know. Yeah. All right, first story in the lightning round. Pam Bondi got another request.
Oh.
This request received by Pam Bondi was from a foreign government. Chile is how you pronounce it. I only know it because I watch a lot of CNN. Chile. National Prosecutor Angel Valencia on Monday requested U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi to interrogate Nicolas Maduro about the assassination of exiled Venezuelan dissident Ronald Ojeda. Valencia traveled to Washington and had a work meeting with Bondi, seeking to strengthen security cooperation between Chile and the United States, as well as cooperation in the fight against organized crime. The Chilean Public Prosecutor's Office detailed that the first topic addressed by Valencia and Bondi was the prosecution of money laundering and the protection of the two countries' financial systems. The second subject was to continue strengthening Chile's cooperation with the United States regarding the pursuit of Tren de Aragua and the Aragua Pirates, a TDA faction operating in Chile. I thought we eliminated a lot of the pirates in and around South America via missile. It's fine. Business is going to be booming, I guess. We're going after more pirates.
Ooh.
And then the third topic of discussion was the murder of Ronald Ojeda. Ronald Ojeda, 32 at the time of his death, was a dissident Venezuelan lieutenant who escaped to Chile facing persecution from the Venezuela socialist regime and became a vocal critic of a now deposed socialist dictator. Maybe you've heard of him, Nicolas Maduro, and other regime figures. February 21st, 2024, a group of men pretending to be Chilean immigration officers abducted him at his residence, dragged him out of his apartment barefoot, wearing only his underwear. Days later, his body was found in a suitcase buried under a cement structure at a location in Santiago's metropolitan area.
Wow.
Well, that could be anything. Who are we to say that these two things are related?
Yeah.
He could have gotten that suitcase on his own. He could have.
Could have been planning a fun trip.
He could have known airline tickets are expensive.
Yeah. They're charging per row now.
You ever see the viral video of that lady who was crazy and made her boyfriend get in a suitcase?
Yes.
And then he suffocated?
Yeah.
And she was just walking around laughing. Don't get in a suitcase.
She's like, I'm just trying to save money.
The moral of the story is do not get in that suitcase.
When someone points to the suitcase, says get in, don't do it.
Got another story for you here in the lightning round.
Another one.
This one is unbelievable on many, many levels. Kim Jong-un, in a stunning upset, just won 99.93% of the vote in North Korea's parliamentary elections, achieving 687 out of 687 seats. And we just want to extend him a congratulations. The naysayers said he couldn't do it.
Who would have saw this coming?
I mean, they said there's no chance that he wins.
The odds stacked against him.
He, honestly, this is an underdog story that resonates with many.
For the century.
Also, that 0.07% are now dead.
Unrelated.
Completely unrelated Don't ask any questions.
Might have been found in a suitcase as well.
There may have been suitcases involved.
Who knows?
But by the next election, they're going to get that back up to 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you win 99.93% when you're an evil dictator who starves his own people? How does 0.07% of the population feel like they can, vote him out? It seems like a bad decision-making process on your part.
For sure. Why'd you put it up to a vote?
Yeah.
It was like if you already knew what you wanted the result to be.
No, they're a vibrant democracy.
Oh, you're right.
They are a vibrant.
You know what? It slipped my mind.
They don't call it Best Korea for nothing. And they do.
North and best. Most bestest.
No, South and best. There's South Korea and there's Best Korea.
Oh, true.
99.93% of the vote.
Well, now it's 100% of the vote.
It's got to be. The 0.07% is dead.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
No longer with us.
Got another story for you here in the lightning round. James Comey really likes Beyonce.
Who doesn't? Well, after that country album, actually, now that I think about it.
James Comey.
Big fan?
He's a member of the Beehive. I don't know if you knew this.
It's not Busy Bee.
No, no. That's a good beehive to be a member of.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the Beyonce Beehive. This is James Comey talking about his love for all things Bay.
As FBI director, I would get briefed all the time on serious stuff, including operations or cases that always seemed to have these strange code names that nobody could explain the origin of, at least not to the director. And so the names became a little bit of an obsession of mine. One morning I was sitting at the head of a big table in a crowded room to get briefed on a particular piece of work. The briefer started by saying the operation was codenamed Sandcastles. Now this was 2016, and you may know that Beyonce's album Lemonade had come out then.
Oh, of course. I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
It was the topic of conversation around the water cooler at the FBI.
Well, that comes to top of mind there.
They were jamming.
With a track called Sandcastles. So I said, oh, like the Beyonce song.
Obviously.
Obviously.
That's the go-to thought.
Obviously, you codenamed this after the Beyonce song.
Of course.
At which point, everybody just slowly turned and looked at Director Comey.
Blank stares all around the FBI conference room.
Yeah, of course.
I bet he was thinking they were all uncultured.
What a bunch of uncultured swine.
Can't even...
So I did the natural thing, I think. I sang, we built sandcastles that washed away.
It just keeps getting worse, doesn't it? Like, dude, you should have cut the losses. As soon as nobody knows, you'd be like, yeah, me neither. My daughter listens to it.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He didn't do that at all. He sang.
Beyonce song. Blank stares all around the FBI conference room. So I did the natural thing, I think. I sang, we built sandcastles that washed away.
He stands for his queen.
Nothing. Dead silence. Never mind, I said, continue.
I love the thought of just dead silence, just jaws on the floor.
And you know he sang it the exact same way.
Oh, for sure.
Like, kind of like under his breath. He didn't really bellow it out.
Yeah. See, if there had been confidence there, like you're supposed to sing a Beyonce song.
Yeah, you got to do it justice if you're going to do it, or don't do it at all.
No. Just besmirching your... Get out of the fan club.
This was our FBI director.
Keyword was.
It's embarrassing. Isn't it embarrassing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Anyways. Why? Why? And like, why does he go on the internet and admit this? You know what I mean? Like, I have done plenty of cringy things in my life.
Yeah.
I think everybody has. I'm not going to go make a reel on Instagram and be like, hey, about 6 years ago, I did something very cringy. This was a decade ago, and I feel the need. It's time to get it off my chest.
Yeah, you know, when I was in this really high up position, there was this one awkward moment I had. Let me tell you about it.
Natural thing, I think. I sang, we built sandcastles that washed away.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Got another story for you here in the lightning round. I honestly, like, this might be the most surprising story of the day. And I don't know how to wrap my head around it. And I know a lot of people that posted the black square on Instagram are going to be very upset about this.
Uh-oh.
It's got to be the weaponization of our justice system. I don't know
of course.
How you come to any other conclusion other than Donald Trump is weaponizing the justice system because another Black Lives Matter organization has just been indicted for fraud.
Oh.
This defense attorney, Tanzania Ruffin, allegedly stole more than $250,000 from a client's family. An indictment a federal grand jury handed up Friday says Ruffin, quote, devised and intended to devise a scheme and artifice to defraud.
I mean, it's just embarrassing that happens.
Federal prosecutors charge Ruffin with wire fraud and say she spent all the money on personal expenses. Authorities say Ruffin lied to the alleged victims, saying she needed the money to pay restitution to an officer their son had allegedly battered. Prosecutors say she also asked them to sign a non-disclosure agreement to keep the settlement confidential.
Guys, I'm not embezzling the money for no reason. My kid beat up a cop. Obviously, this is a good enough reason to steal the funds that, we were going to build, schools and playgrounds and get some money for those after-school programs, and you know what I mean? Like, of course, but, Jamal beat up a cop, so we had to...
Got to protect my kid.
We got to pay that restitution. It's not wire fraud, it's getting my son out of trouble.
Ruffin's attorney, Carrie Kutcha, told Fox 8 in January Ruffin paid back $264,000 to the alleged victims. We spoke with him Monday afternoon.
I have had the opportunity to review it, but at this stage of the proceeding, it would be inappropriate for me to make any comment.
Yeah, it's inappropriate for the lawyer to make any comment. You see the picture of the lawyer?
Yeah, he looks a little flustered.
He looks like a sleazeball.
How do you say his last name there? Carrie...
Cuccia.
Cuccia?
Cuccia.
Cuccia?
I think it's Italian.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Cuccia. You have to...
Oh, got to do the hand.
That's a spicy last name there. Cuccia.
One more time.
Cuccia. He had no comment.
It would be inappropriate for me to make any comment.
There's a lot of ways this could still go.
Despite allegations Ruffin stole around $250,000, she's only charged with wire fraud for $90,000. Fox 8 legal analyst Joe Raspani says that could mean more charges are coming, or that Ruffin's alleged conduct could be considered at a future sentencing.
Come on, she didn't do nothing wrong. Just a little wire fraud. Just a little embezzlement.
It was for a good cause.
Who among us hasn't defrauded a charity? Let those among us who hasn't defrauded the public and defrauded nonprofits cast the first stone. Right?
Wait.
Don't throw them all at once.
They could modify the amount via a superseding indictment, or it could just be added in by the probation department who's writing up the sentencing report as relevant conduct. So we've got to see which way this is going to go.
Former Louisiana State Bar Association President Richard Leaf says consequences for Ruffin will likely go beyond the criminal charges if she's convicted.
Taking money from a client is an extremely serious matter. If that proves out that that's what she did, then disbarment is going to go through a process.
We'll see it. We'll see it play out. Another Black Lives Matter organizer indicted for fraud. We'll pay attention to this story until another Black Lives Matter organizer gets popped for fraud, and then we'll pay attention to that one until another Black Lives Matter organizer gets popped for fraud.
Makes sense.
It's 11:52. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. And if you're storing firearms, cash, gold, jewelry, passports, photo albums, the most important things that you don't want to lose at your home, here's something that a lot of people don't realize. Not all safes are created equal. Before you run out to a big box store and buy something because it's on sale, talk to the experts at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. They carry trusted brands like Rhino Metals and Liberty, but also true high-security safes from manufacturers like Graf Under, American Security, ISM, Incas. Those are the kinds of safes built to offer real protection from theft and fire, not ones that are built for clever marketing. Aaron Parker runs the whole business. He's a veteran. He knows security, Air Force security experience, Christian family business. Has been serving Tennessee since 2009. Aaron and his sons handle everything, delivery, installation, discreetly, professionally, based in Shelbyville, but they'll serve all of Nashville and Middle Tennessee. They'll even go into some other states if you need them. Now, you can find a video review of every safe in stock on their YouTube page. Search Parker Safes on YouTube, or hit the website for a whole link of what they got in stock today, parkersafes.com. 931-842-6445 or parkersafes.com.
Christy.
11:58. Super
Can't
Talk
eat your way to the
99.7
presidency.
WTN. We were just talking about who is the best celebrity endorser for GLP-1 medications off the air. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Mason Fleming producing. Ken Weaver in the newsroom. We said Mike Pompeo would be a good endorser for GLP-1s. And J.B. Pritzker also would be a great endorser for GLP-1s. He's slimming down for that presidential run.
Of course, yeah. Well, ever since you can't get stuck in the bathtub, well, you're never going to live that down in your biography.
You got stuck in a bathtub?
No, like you didn't like was it Garfield that got stuck in the bathtub?
Oh, I actually believe that J.B. Pritzker would be the kind of
that
guy
seems like
who
something.
gets stuck in a bathtub.
But that's why you get a walk-in tub. Oh, those things I really want a walk-in tub.
Really?
Yeah, man. Because you could be a jacuzzi. I could sit there. I could walk in and out. I don't have to worry about anything.
Here's my issue with the walk-in tub. You have to hang out during the fill-up time.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. Because if you open that door, the water's going to come rushing out. So you're either hopping over the door, or you're there.
No,
you're there during the whole fill-up.
It's not the getting in.
I don't
it's
have
the
enough
getting
time
out
for this.
that is.
Yeah. So you got to wait for all of your filth water to drain before you get out.
It's the getting. Yeah. I bet you know what. I'm fine with that because it's got the jacuzzi stuff in there.
No, the walk-in tub, it sounds nice until you actually put it into practice. And then everybody goes, this is ridiculous.
I'm walking. Reverse mortgage walk-in tub guy.
You're going to waste 30 minutes every time you're in that tub for the fill-up and the drain.
So, you know what, though? When you get the walk-in tub, it doesn't have to be just a tub. It's the shower, too.
For most of the elderly that need it, time is limited anyway. Why are we pushing this?
My great-grandmother got stuck in a tub for 2.5 days.
All right.
That's why.
She would have saved some time.
She felt she had a slip-in tub.
So apparently. Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7.